Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Good to be with you on this Saturday. Just thought I'd do a bit of a trade video update. Not that there's that much to update on, but I know that it ends on Wednesday, I believe, on the 13th of October, and a lot of people DM me and ask me, Jakey, what's in the works? Jakey, what's happening? So I thought I'd just do a video and summarize it. So essentially, all we've done at the moment is trade picks. So that's probably the first place to start. It was a four-way trade. I've got it here in front of me. It was between Melbourne, the Western Bulldogs, Adelaide, and us. We received the 62, 66, and future fourth rounder from Adelaide. And out we put into that trade was our pick 49. So it's a bit, bit of a mouthful. There's a bit to process there, but essentially, from what I've read and looking at the point system online, the original pick 49 was worth, I can't remember the exact amount of points, but a certain amount of points. And so what we've done is traded that out. We've picked up 62 and 66. And I think the logic there is that 62 and 66 will actually become picks in the 50s because of other father-sons, North Melbourne, I think Collingwood have got a few, the Bulldogs potentially. So there's a few things to play out there, and what that's going to do is essentially turn 62 into something like a 52, and then 66 into something like a 56. And when you put those two together, the cumulative points, that actually exceeds 49 alone. So we've gone backwards to go forwards, and I think the main logic there is potentially to accumulate points for our next generation academy players in Windhager and Owens. So I think that's what the club's planning on doing there, but I've also heard that we might potentially use 62 or 66 and give that to North Melbourne for someone like a Tristan Cherry, or Sherry, however you want to say it. He is the other bit of news in the trade period for us. Not the most exciting. He's nominated St Kilda, and he's a ruckman. I think he's contracted. North are playing it like he's fairly important, but we all know that he's a few notches down the pecking order. He's dominated VFL level, but apart from that, he hasn't really done much at AFL level. But he's nominated us, and it looks likely that maybe something like a pick in those 60s or even the future fourth rounder from Adelaide. I honestly think that should be enough. But at this point, I think the club is also looking ahead to next year and what we want to do with Ben King and the situation that's happening there. A lot of the media has come out and talked about it and said it's disrespectful that we're even talking about Ben King, but it literally happens every year to every single player that's nearly out of contract. It happened to JB. It's happened to everyone. So I don't know why suddenly Ben King is such a protected player, and it's not on his own accord. It's his manager being a bit protective and being a bit defensive. And to me, that's just, he's under pressure because the Gold Coast obviously want to keep Ben King, but teams are going to come knocking, and one of them's going to be us, and the other one might be Essendon. There might be 10 other clubs that come knocking for the signature of Ben King, but I think, he's put talks off. That's what I've heard, that he is not going to sign a new contract anytime soon, and already that is a bit of a red flag. If he was committed to the Gold Coast and wasn't, if categorically was just going to say, I'm staying at the Gold Coast, he would have signed that contract already, but he's basically said, I'm going to think about it, to put it into next year and put in the rearview mirror at the moment and focus on my football. And that's always a bit of a red flag. Anytime that happens, the player is always more likely to leave than stay. So I think that it's going to be interesting to see what we do in the next couple of days, whether we try and push for maybe another first rounder. I don't know whether that means splitting the 9 with someone like a Brisbane and you get 14 and an 18, and you can maybe keep the 14 and use the 18 for something else. Or we could go early and keep the 9, maybe trade out another player or package up some picks and maybe squeeze our way into a first rounder again. And I've heard rumours that why not do that, and if we get 2 first rounders this year, why not go early and offer that to Gold Coast this year for Ben King, and then pick up the academy boys with some other points that we can accumulate and get Cherry on the cheap, and then we're done. There's a lot to play out. Obviously, going into this trade period, we wanted another ruckman because Paddy Ryder's only got 1 more year on his contract, and after that, it's more likely than not that he would retire. And then the other one was another backman to support Dougal Howard. So that's the other one that hasn't really come to fruition in the trade period. Cleary is one that we've been linked to. There's been a few others there. Talia is delisted from Adelaide. He's one that could potentially work out. I know Robbie Tarrant's just gone to Richmond. That could have worked out for us, but obviously not. And then there's another player, I think the Geelong player, Schlensog, that I can never say, or Schlensog, I think. And he's basically, the best non-AFL listed defender at the moment, and he would basically be free. I think he's a delisted free agent. So that's one we could probably pick up after this period. I think we'll probably potentially be more active in the delisted free agency market. There's Patrick Naish that we're looking at from Richmond, who's delisted. Obviously, Schlensog. Fucking hell, I can't say that shit. And then a few others that I think we've been linked to as well. But the other one that's just come to fruition today is Bobby Hill. He wants to come back to Victoria. I think his partner's pregnant and he wants to be closer to family. In particular, his cousin, Bradley Hill. So it'd be interesting to see what we can do there and if we can get another Hill at the Saints. But he is under contract, and GWS, I think, are going to ask for, probably a second rounder or something around that. He's still young. He's got potential, and that's what these draft picks are always about. It's about potential. It's not about current output. I think at the moment, from what I've seen, I feel like we would definitely want to go to the draft. I don't know if we're going to split number 9, pick 9 at the moment, which I think will become pick 11, but that's a good place to start. I think we keep that. We try and work on some more picks, whether we trade out Ben Long, who's got some value, Dean Kent still without a contract, I think, Jack Loney. We didn't get any compensation from Luke Dunstan. Melbourne are probably paying him peanuts, and it's really all about his salary, and that's what dictates the compensation the club receives. Hopefully in the last couple of days something else opens up, because we've got pick 9. We could go risky and use that on a player. I know Hawthorn are willing to get rid of basically every player over the age of 26 for a first-round draft pick. That includes Chad Wingard, Tom Mitchell, Jaeger O'Meara. There's a few there that some Saners have commented asking whether we could go for them. I would not use pick 9 on any of them. So that's kind of where everything sits. Right now, currently, we've only traded picks. We've gone backwards to go forwards. I think that's a smart move. Cherry has nominated us, so I think we get that done pretty easily with the 62 pick, or maybe we accumulate some more picks on Monday or Tuesday, and it gets done on Wednesday for the cheap. Yeah, we look at the delisted free agents, but at the moment, pretty quiet. I'll report more on this on Saints TV Weekly on Monday, but I thought I'd just do a quick video on a Saturday for everyone just sitting at home wondering what the hell's going on with the club. I think youth is the focus, and that actually reminds me, that brings me to something, a stupid AFL article that I love calling out on my channels, as you guys know. The headline was, "Confused Saints, Silent Fortnight Threatens to Close Their Already Narrow Flag Window." Now, that was with Lee Montagna and a few others. Honestly, it was just a ridiculous comment. Tom Morris was saying that Saints appeared confused with their list, because he knows what's going on at the club. Tom Morris, you're a genius, mate. The Saints are confused with their list strategy as they're placing more emphasis on draft picks rather than trades. I'm sorry, but have we not been the most active team in the trade period the last 2 bloody years, Tom Morris? Like, 1 second clubs are saying, well, we've traded in too many players and we don't get any synergy and we're paying them too much and we're giving up draft picks. We need to hit youth because we don't have enough youth coming in. But now you're saying we're not doing the right thing. We should be going for ready-made players in the trades, even though we don't have any fucking draft picks to work with. We need to keep pick 9, and then we have legitimately nothing else there, and we need to keep the rest for points on the academy kids. So, mini rant, but that is the dumbest piece of journalism I've read all week, and anyone that believes that is an idiot. I think our trade strategy is pretty sound. We've got some internal growth coming through with Gresham, Marshall, Max King coming through. We've got the back line that's pretty steady. The midfield will get together and work things out, because we were missing, Ryder, Marshall, Zach Jones for bulks of this year. Hanbury is one of them. Gresham for basically the entire year. There's a lot of internal growth. And we've gone to the trade period the last 2 years. We've topped up on some players like Butler, Hill, Ryder, Dougal Howard, Zach Jones, to name a few. And they've been pretty good. They've made us stronger, but now we need to get that youth core coming through with the Bytels, with the Burnses, the Connollys, these sort of guys around the 18 to 22 mark, and grow from within as well. So I think starting with the academy boys could be great. Getting someone decent at pick 9 could be fantastic as well. And we have that layer on top of the trades, on top of the already existing players that have been in the system at our club for the last 4 to 7 years. And I think that's a pretty sound strategy. So I don't know what Tom Morris is saying, that we appear confused. I think we appear slow, but that means we're thinking things through and we're going to do what's best for the club. And I'm backing the boys to get the job done in the recruitment department. We've had bad history of it, I know, but if you look at us finding the likes of Sharman, Heim or Wilkie off the back of basically, no research and no clubs knowing who the hell they were, that shows how advanced we are looking at talent. And I think, with Burns, Connolly coming in and doing a job, these sort of guys, Bytel, they're all fully capable. They weren't top 10 draft picks. They're capable and they've got skills and they make us stronger. So if we can do that with limited draft picks, I'm very excited to see what we can do with pick 9 and onwards from there, whether we can get some more picks with some trades or split pick 9 or whatever. So I think I just wanted to kind of nip that in the bud. That pissed me off. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with what we've done. Obviously, I think that I wish we had more collateral to work with, because I feel like we'd be a bit more active. But at this time, we've got our eyes on Academy. We've got our eyes on Ben King next year, potentially. If we don't make the right moves, then those things don't happen and we'll all be upset. Imagine if we don't get Ben King. We'll all be upset when that doesn't happen. So we need to be planning for the future and we need to play it smart now. But I think the majority of our improvement isn't going to come from this trade period. It's going to come from previous, and it's going to come from the players already existing in the system that pick up their form after being so down this year. So that's kind of my little mini rant. But hopefully you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, please like it, comment your thoughts, tell me what you want from this trade period and what you're looking at. If there's any draft bolters that we could snatch up, mention them in the comments and I'll be sure to respond when I can. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and help us grow further. Your support would be greatly appreciated. And my next video, as you all know, will be coming out on Monday afternoon, Saints TV Weekly. It's going to be a big one, a lot of trade news to talk about, as well as news across the rest of the club channels. So I can't wait for that. So I'll see you guys then. But until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend and go you mighty Sainers.